Yeah, are we live? Are you guys there in the chat? Is anyone there? Can you guys tell me if the audio and the video quality are okay? Okay. So anyway, let's get started. So we have everything set for the game jam. I like to thank you guys for your patience. I had a small problem in the commute here to the office. The traffic was really intense today. But anyway, let's get started. So let me explain how it's going to happen. I have here these two dice, these two die sets. These are known as Rory story cubes. So we typically use them for brainstorming, for like writing stories. And the idea is that you have this die, dices, this die, and this dice, yeah, die, yeah, I don't know how to to speak the plural of dice. So what's going to happen is that we have this one, which is theme fantasy, and this one, which is theme astro or cosmos. It's basically about space. And what I'm going to do is to put every all the nine dices, all the nine die in this sack. One will be for the fantasy team, and the other one will be for the cosmos, so for the astronomy team. And I'm going to sort them out, and I'm going to pick one dice. So and I'm going to roll it right here, so you guys can see the team of the first dice. And then I'm going to do the same for the dice about fantasy. So I'm going to start with a dice about a space, and after that I'm going to take a screenshot, or I'm going to take a photo about it and put on the game jam landing page. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put all the die here in the sack. This is the fantasy sack. Tu é brasileiro? Seu modo de falar inglês é muito parecido com o que um brasileiro diria. Sim, eu sou brasileiro. Sou aqui do Brasil, cara. É, de Brasília, inclusive. Se tivermos mais brasileiros aí, melhor ainda. Inclusive, acho que eu vou compartilhar essa Game Jam no meu canal do Brasil. So I'm going to put all these the astronomy dice die here on the astronomy sack as well. Why am I using fantasy and astrology themes? Because in my studio, Luden's studio, the all my games are about space fantasy. So I would like to share the same obsession with you guys. So we are going to make a platform game with overall theme about space and fantasy, and we are going to figure out what exactly we are going to do about this theme right now. So let's pick one die. There we have it. It's this one. I'm going to put it right here so we can shake it and get the actual theme. And now let's pick one about fantasy. So this is the fantasy sack. And uh, this one, this die, this dice. So I'm going to put it right here, shake it, and let's review the theme. This is the moment. This is where everything will converge. So right there. What is it? I didn't see. So yeah, we have a giant monster paw and a labyrinth, something that looks like a labyrinth. I think that you guys can't see it. So let me show you without all the lights. I'm going to take a photo and put it on the game jam landing page, okay? So yeah, this is the theme of the game jam. I'm going to leave it right there because my phone. Let me see if I can show you with this camera. No, I think I. Yeah, so let me see if you guys can also see it. I think that if I don't get so close to the camera, tá muito claro. É, vai colocar o tema na Game Jam? Vou colocar na landing page da Game Jam. Eu vou tirar uma foto aqui e vou colocar lá. Mas ele é uma. É a pata de um monstro gigante pisando num personagem e uma coisa que parece um labirinto. Cara, isso aqui tá muito legal. Eu já tenho uma ideia muito da hora do que eu vou fazer. Eu vou tirar a foto e vou postar lá agora, tá? Muito legal. Deixa eu botar aqui. Okay, so I just posted the theme. Let me share the theme with you guys. So there, I'll put the link in the chat right now, so you can visit the the theme post. And on the reply, you can see the image of the dice, the die. So there you have it. We have like a giant monster pawn, kind of like smashing the a character, and something that looks like a labyrinth. So that's what we are going to work with. Let's see. So I'm going to start this live stream. Opening the, let me see, Google. Oh shit. And from now on, I'm going to live stream my progress on the jam. So in my specific case, I'm going to live stream only up to 12 p.m. Yeah, 12 p.m. because I have to pick my son from baby care. So I'm not going to stream the whole day, but took the chance to chat and get involved as well. So I'm going to create a new diagram and share the screen with you guys. So now the whole idea is that I'm going to brainstorm. So let me see if you guys can see. Okay. So I'm going to brainstorm some ideas. So we start with something like a platformer. And we have the themes, which are, well, something like a giant monster foot is mashing a person. Well, let me see if I can copy and paste the very gem here. Oh, the very picture. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So what about 800? Okay. So this is the theme. Monster foot smashing a character and a labyrinth. A maze. What's the difference between a labyrinth and a maze? I don't actually know. A labyrinth. Qual o nome do programa que você usa para criar as planilhas do projeto e organizar o escopo? Vou usar o Notion. Daqui a pouco você vai ver. Vai ser bem rapidinho. Já tem até um template para fazer esse tipo de coisa. Bom, acho que assim vai ser melhor, né? Então, so what I'm going to do now is to figure out what I can do. So I think that I'm going to make it just like one screen. So a single screen. And I think that you have to dodge from like the giant monster smash, like the giant monster feet, which is going to try to step to smash you. So something like the feet comes from up the screen downwards to the character, and something like stars, or let me see, because I want some objects to appear from both sides of the screen, so the character actually has something to jump on, like we actually have some platforms to jump on. A single screen. I think that I'm going to make it a shooter. So you have to defeat the boss. And some platforms appear from the sides. Players have to use them to let's see, to avoid the boss food. But this doesn't actually make sense because unless these platforms come like some ledges where players will have to perform something like a wall jump, right? Because otherwise they don't actually make much sense. Because if the boss feat is going to smash the player from up to bottom, from top to bottom, then these platforms moving horizontally will not quite help unless we have something here on the floor that will prevent the player from just moving around. Yeah, I think that I can make something like when the boss feet smashes the ground, it creates something like a lava, yeah, something like a lava pit. So it will create a a hazard that will deal damage to the player. So this already uses the hazard recipe, so it's okay. And yeah, I think that this will be the concept. It will be kind of like a, so, but the boss will have to have something that will trigger a win condition as well. So people will have to shoot on his feet and, well, defeat him. So I'm going to use a health bar as well. So this is the whole idea. Let's have to use the boss, the crater created by the boss smashing the ground. And I think that this is it. This is the whole concept of my game. I don't have much time to work on complex stuff, so I'm going to invest the much I can on this. Uh, yeah, so let's open Inkscape so I have some idea about what I'm going to actually do. Oh, but I forgot about the labyrinth. Yeah, completely forgot about that. So I, oh, oh shit. Yeah, so I think that what I'm going, yeah, this is the major constraint right now. So I have to make it so that instead of just showing up, instead of just showing up, these platforms are going to appear randomly on the screen. So I'm going to make something like a grid, and these platforms that help the player avoid these craters that are going to be created from the boss smashing the ground are going to appear randomly on the screen, and players have to maneuver on them to avoid being on the floor. I think that this will be my way to implement a labyrinth. So let's open Inkscape, screen, desktop. I'm going to play some music. I think that, well, yeah, I don't think that this is going to hit some copyright or something like this, but it's always better to avoid, right? Well, I'm going to search on Spotify for um, non-copyright lo-fi music, because otherwise, So let me search for copyright free lo-fi. I'm very I'm very certain that this will give me a strike, but well, nonetheless, let's keep on doing it. Let me see. Ei, qual o nome do programa que tu usa para criar? Tá, vai ser o Notion. Qual o tempo para publicar o jogo na Game Jam? Tem até domingo, 8 horas da noite. Ou 7 horas da noite. So this will be the background. So let me make something like some stars. Let me create another layer for the stars. And I'm also going to create some smaller ones. Okay, so let me group and decrease these like this. And I'm going to spray them to make something like a decent background. Yeah, they're not scattering enough. So scatter. And I'm going to increase the width. Yeah, something like this. And they're definitely not scattering. So scale rotation. No overlap between colors. Apply over transparent areas. Prevent overlapping objects. What is this? Okay. So let's mix focus. I don't want to focus rotation amount. Yeah, I think that this is going to be it. I think that they are way too big. Spray scale. I'm not going to change the scale very much. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so let me lock this and let's create a new layer. Oops. So the what I'm going to do actually, no, I think that I'm going to use the whole screen for that. But here we are going to have the floor. It's going to be something like this. Oops. The floor with some, I'm going to add some craters, just so some holes, just so we have something that resemble craters, like this, or like that. I think that I'm going with the blue one. What if I reverse that? Yeah, I think that I'm going with this. Yeah, the contrast is better this way. Okay, so let me open my character scene. Uh, just so you guys know, you can reuse any asset that you already have, so there is no problem with that as long as you have the license or the rights to use it. The whole point of this game jam is to use the recipes provided to you. So the free hazard recipe that you can find on the game jams page, and the free moving character recipe that you can find on the books page as well. So feel free to reuse any asset as you want, as long as you implement at least one recipe from the book, so one chapter from the book, okay? So in my case, I'm going to pick a character that I have. I think that on this project, yeah, Ludonauts sprite sheet. I think that I'm going with the reference directly. Oh, oops. What is... Okay. This one is ground. I think that I'm going to make it something like vertical because I don't know if making a horizontal game will make sense for my concept. Oops. Because for instance, the game will look like this, and the boss will try to smash the player downwards like this. And I don't think that this is the best way to make this game. So what I'm going to do instead is to lock the screen like this, so I frame this interaction better. And let's oh, main page, okay, yeah, like this. And I'm going to decrease the character size, and basically every proportional. The floor will have to be smaller as well. And I'm going to take rid of the stars for a moment, so I can focus on what actually matters. So I'm going to increase the ground size to something like this. Decrease the character size as well. So we have a lot of room to jump. Because if we go back to the game jam theme, so let's see. What is it? Okay, I don't have any. Tempo, beleza, domingo, 7 da noite, próxima. Isso. 7 horas da noite aqui do Brasil, né? Because if we, oops, if we try to see, the whole point is that the character is very small compared to the boss foot, right? So the claw or the paw. So I have to, I want to give this same perspective that you are very small compared to the environment. So I think that I can even decrease a little more and make the floor smaller as well. This will even allow me to have more room to play with the labyrinth aspect of this gem. Because remember, I'm not only making a boss fight, but we also need to implement something that will resemble the idea of a labyrinth as well. So yeah, so this is the size that we are going to look like, something like this on the actual game. Yeah, looks okay. Okay. And I think that I can use. Let me see if I have here Dropbox videos, Ludens. I have marketing without social media, making a bomb. Yeah, so I think that I have file that I can use to give the idea that the character is holding a weapon, so I have more sense about what's happening. What will happen in the game actually. So yeah, I have this weapon. Yeah, so I'm going to use these for this concept. So Control C, Control V. So let's make some platforms. And the whole point of these platforms is that they are going to appear randomly on the screen. Uh, But what if instead of having platforms, I create something like, well, imagine that this is a tile map, okay? And I have something like a grid, and I can fill this grid with, well, but this will have to mess with procedural generation. And I don't know how to work with procedural generation, but yeah, well, I think that we can play with it. And the whole point is that the the platforms are going to appear randomly every now and then. Well, actually, when the boss steps on the player, right? So something like this. Well, let's create 100 by 128. Something like this. And mhm. Well, I'm going to create something like a grid now. So let me measure. Let me measure distance between this. Oh, this is not the measure tool? The geometric constructions, okay. Not what I wanted. Something like this. I don't want in millimeters. How can I change that? Font size unit pixels. Pixels, please. Pixels. Yeah, so 100 by 800. Let's see, 800 by 180. Create tiled clones. Oh, okay. I didn't get why it created them with an outline. But yeah, there we have it. So we have this grid, which I'm going to use. Well, actually, no. Let's use it. So we have this. So the last row of this, the two last rows of this grid will always be filled. So let me remove that. Like these two, no, actually we can use only the last one. And from time to time, we can fill, oops, we can fill some other rows like that, making so that the character, well, but we'll always have to make sure to ensure that that will, well, the character can basically jump upwards as well. Actually, I think that I'm going to lock so that the character doesn't jump through this platform, so it's going to be stuck within like this each row. And yeah, so when the boss steps on, I'm going to change to this. Okay. But I also will stroke them. So now I have this idea of the 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 actual grid. And when the boss steps on, the ground will shake and lava will rise. So this will become lava, and players will have to jump to these platforms. I think that this is the concept. So let's make something like a a monster. No, this is too soft for a monster. Let me see. I think that I will actually use some claws. So something like that. Let me distribute those. Yeah, not quite, but like this. Yeah, I think that I will leave it like that. How can I make a knee? Um, I think that I'm going to use this, but only the outline. Yeah, I think that. Oh, actually, I think that a knee is basically a spiral, right? So we can use a spiral. Like, yeah, yeah. I think that this is it. Let's decrease the increase the inner radius, the amount of turns. Yeah, something like this. I think that this will do the trick. So 32? No. 16? 12? 10? 8. Yeah, I think that I'm going with 16. So, but instead of having like this um, floating like this, I'm going to separate them in Godot engine to make something like the foot will be separated. Like it will be kind of like a how can I say that? It will be the tip of a line 2D. So the line 2D will be like this until it hits the floor. So I'm going to use a raycast for that. And, and the foot will be on the tip of this raycast like this. So let me take out the. Let's remove this outline. So we end up with something like this. Yeah, and as soon as the, the boss foot hits the floor, it will turn this into lava, and players will have to poof. Actually, yeah, I think that the actual damage will also be the shaking. So I'm not going to play with lava. So as soon as the character hits the ground, it's going to like shake, and the character is going to take damage or something like this. And of course, you have to shoot him to deal some damage. Let me see if I can also use some interface elements from my other game. Let me see if can I use something from here. Nah, maybe the explosions? No. Oh, let me see the chat. Sorry. Maybe you guys are talking with me and I'm like not even seeing. Live stream. Qual o tempo para publicar? Ok, beleza. É, nada novo. No, I think I'm going to use an actual health bar. But I also want to use something that will reward players somehow with like score or something like this. So maybe I'm going to use some asteroids. That the player can destroy to, you know, make earn some points or something like this. Yeah, I think that this is the whole point. I think that I'm going with this concept. So let's get started on Godot engine. Let me save this concept. Godot platformer essentials gem. The repository. I think that well, GitHub is very annoying. So I'm going to create the repository using. I'm going to create the folder using the repository. So products, games, select repository name Godot platformer essentials gem. Where is it? Godot. Yeah, this one. License on license. Create repository. I missed the team announcement. Well, you can check it out on the gems post. I just pinned the link to the team review post in the chat. Okay, with the repository created, let's start with the Godot project. Well, is anyone using Godot 4.6 already? Because I didn't see any reason to change from Godot 4.4 yet. But it seems like, well, let's test this out. Let's try it out. Godot 4.6. Export and paste. Yeah, so one of the major changes is that this new Godot release implements the minimal theme from the modern theme actually from what is it? Passive Star, which has nothing to do with passive because the guy is just the most proactive person I know on the internet. So uh, I'm going to create a new game project. No, we're going to create Godot folder. And let's call it just Godot Platformer Essentials Gem for now. Because I don't want to spend time thinking about a title for a game that doesn't even exist. Just for the hype. Yeah, I didn't change from, but it seems to that this new Godot, um, it it feels more responsive. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, it feels a little bit more responsive. At least the interactions feel quicker to give a visual feedback about what I'm. Well, yeah, within within like 3 seconds using it, I can already feel that because previously the Godot, the previous like 4.4 wasn't that responsive. I like to always start by setting up the palette for my games because this will help me a lot because I prototype the visuals using building tools. So you guys are going to see what I'm talking about. So with the palette set, I'm going to create my folder structure. It starts with actors. Oops. Actors. Areas. Assets. Interface. Objects. what's it called? Levels. Levels, screens, and utilities. Utilities, which I also subdivide with tools and systems. Okay, I think that we can start playing around. So project settings. There we have it. And well, I'm going to bring some stuff. So I'm going to bring some stuff from other project. I want to test out something because I while I was in the commute to the office, I think about how I'm going to distribute the recipes better. So I'm thinking about creating asset packs for each.io. And I think that we can actually import local projects from very Godot itself. So we just have to pack them. Yeah, but yeah, it's not quite what I wanted actually. Why is this? Okay. It's commit, right? So I think that this one has some utility tools, count direction, position wrapper. Yeah, I think that these would be good to have as well. Systems aim, combat, distribution, game resources. Yeah, game resources are going to be very important for this game. Spawn, envision, weapon. Yeah, the weapon one will be important as well. So systems, but there is also something from Milkway Milling that I want to bring. So yeah, of course we have those recipes. Event player, hazard. Yeah, spawners there, interactive R2D. Yeah, I think that the dialogue system is going to be very important as well. But what I want to, yeah, this is what I wanted. So position claim pair, possibly. Position claim pair. Proximity trigger. No. Random chance. Yeah. Oops. Shaker. Reposition probably. Yeah, this is what I wanted. Shape drawing. But let's see if we loot possibly. What's the difference between, oh, random loot? Okay. path draw as well. Count, direction, distribute. Count, direction. Yes, so I'm going to use the distribution as well. Distribute. Okay, so I think that this will do the trick for now. But what I want to do here is to create a, I'm going to use a tile map layer, and I'm going to create some scenes to create the tile set so that we can start working with the whole idea of generating those platforms, because I think that this is going to be the worst part about this design. Are you participating in the game? Of course I am. Like, to be honest, I really love the direction of the team. Of course I'm participating in the game jam. So what I'm going to have is at least the asteroids. And what else? Oh, we're not going to have enemies. Oh, bullets. So bullets. Probably some ores. And I think that for now, this is going to do the trick. If I need something else, I'm going to add to this level. And what else? Let me see. Well, I think that I was working with, well, I was working with another project here. Product games. What is it called? Midway Survive. No, Zodiac Defenders. And I think that I'm going to use. This is the moving character recipe from the very book itself. So we already hit one of the requirements for the gem. Let's see if we can make something like a real simple 2D scene that's going to have a rigid body. So this is going to be the floor. I'm going to use a polygon 2D. It's going to be this color. This right here. And let's add a static body with a shape, collision shape. It's going to be a rectangle shape. Yeah, like this. So there we have our first area, which is the floor. So floor, save. And let's create this tile map layer tile set. Scene collection. Rendering map. Fix. What is? Okay. Tile map. So I think that grid visibility. Yeah, because we're going to work with a grid directly on the editor. So something like this. And the first thing that I'm going to do is to actually add a polygon to the on both sides, so we don't, so we can frame things better. Three. Yeah, I think that I'm going to extend it to 4 tiles. So we're going to be really confined. Yeah, don't like that. Way too claustrophobic. So I'm going to leave it like that. And position clamper. I don't recall if I have to use the position clamper on the player or in the level. Yeah, so probably I can use it in the player. Let's see. 384. 1536. 1536. Well, yeah, this we can leave it like that. I think that we can even extend this if we want to, like, make a void where the players can fall. Like when the boss hits the ground, players can fall. Let's see. Okay, so this is going to be the tile set. So, oops. Why is it like that? Oh, I got it. So we have to center everything because it's pointing like this. So we have to center stuff. Yeah. And why is it black? It shouldn't be black. It definitely shouldn't be black. Common parent is no. Why is it black? Visibility. Okay, got it. So there we have it. This is the floor. And let's add a player. Load the node. I remember that I made some changes, so probably this is not the actual moving character. Let me see. Direction, move and slide. Jump is on the floor. Yeah, I think that the major change that I did was adding this up direction so that I could change the upward direction if I needed. But apart from that, nothing changed much. So let's try to play. Oh, okay, I don't have the actions as well. I have absolutely certain that I'm going to get stroke for this playlist. What happened? Interaction RHD. Okay, let's fix those dependencies. Interaction RHD. This was interaction RHD, so fix broken. It's not finding the interaction RHD. Systems. Yeah, I didn't bring this up. And what else? Parse error reference not existing. Okay, so it's only missing the interaction RHD, so let's fix that. Okay. So let's see if this works. Where is the character? Okay, so let's fix this. General camera window. Landscape enabled. Disabled keep viewport. Keep ignore. Keep with it. No, keep hide. Okay. What is it? Moving character direction. With every type of phantom base, no object moving character. Okay, so it's missing the moving character. Is that it? Keyboard moving character. Okay. Okay. But why isn't it moving? So moving character direction equal to 1. Let's see the player here. Actor. Let's open the moving character. Speed, gravity. Character direction. Oh, okay. So this is not the actual recipe, and I think that I'm going to bring the original back because the original one is working. Because this is the result of a prototype that I was making prior to I think that was last week, and the whole idea is that in this other game we are on the moon, and I was playing around with how could I make the movement always rotate as if along the character rotation relative to the moon. So I'm going to bring back the original recipe right now. And since I have access to the book, I can basically just copy paste it. Let me see the chat. No, no, you're not cook. I'm very bad actually on making stuff on the go like this because I rather work with um, designing and stuff. Oh, we have more notifications. A deal. Let's go. Platform essentials. Platformer. Overview. Let's go back here. Need to check it out. Check the price pool. Assess the free started. Yeah, we have a free recipe, right? So let's download it. No thanks. Free chapter. So I'm basically just going to copy paste this. Copy that. Paste. And fingers crossed. Hopefully this will work. Yeah, it's working. Perfect. So something that I'm going to do is to change the direction. I think that this is something that it's missing on this specific recipe. I'm going to create a signal telling that the direction changed. Direction vector changed. New vector. Oops. Vector 2. And let's create a set get. Yeah, set. So how am I going to do that? I think that vector 2 dot right times direction, because yeah, but if I set the direction, where's this direction minimal? No. Yeah, well, no time for fancy logic. So if direction greater than 0, otherwise we are going to emit to the left. Why am I doing that? Because I'm going to use that to change the graphics direction. So the graphics, what is it called? Scale, yeah, scale. So signals, direction, graphics, sprites, set scale. Whoa, we already have that. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's go. Oops. Okay. So not avatar. I'm going to change that. This isn't working as intended. So new vector 2, vector changed. Elif, yeah. So elif direction smaller than 0, because otherwise it's going to set this to 0. Pick set scale. Yeah, why isn't it changing? Should be flipping. Avatar graphics set scale. Maybe on the avatar sprites. Avatar sprites. Oh yeah. So yeah, there's something. This is not going to give me what I want, so that's okay. Because actually, what I need to do is to make something like vector 2 direction 1. Actually, -1 and 1. What? Why isn't it? Why is it flipping? Avatar sprites. What did I miss here? Oh, okay. If not direction equal to 0. Yeah, finally. But as you can see, and this movement is not quite what I wanted. So now we are going to play a little bit with this animation. So just so we have something like a jog animation. So you can see it's like, let's create another one. I'm going to duplicate this and say like sprint. Not sprint, but yeah, let's say sprint. Oh, oops. Yeah, I don't think that this is going to work as I wanted. So I'm going to reset. I'm not going to play with hover hosing animation. And instead I'm just basically going to rotate this. And yeah, that's it. So let's remove that. Reset, okay. So new sprint. And we're not going to play with the curves, but rather with animation. So position and rotation. And same thing for this. So position and rotation. And we're going to do the same for arm. And now that we have this base, what I'm going to do is to rotate this. Oops. Rotate this. Oops. Like. What? Oh, damn. Oh, the origin point is right there. But what about the line? Jesus. Can't we just like change this? Okay. So yeah, we have to work with the lines instead. With the paths actually. Damn, I don't quite like this. So I think that I'm going to have to break my character, my whole character setup. And use pure line to this. Actually, I think that I can remove the lines to the script. Like making them local. Make local. Okay. What is it? Damn. Okay, so now I can remove these paths without much trouble. Yeah. And finally, what I'm going to do is to offset this. Well, I never had to do that actually. Uh, but anyway, so what I'm going to do is to actually have some remote transforms that I can control. So let me undo everything. Yeah, there we have it. So what I'm going to do actually is to have some remote transforms. So so that we can offset this whole setup. So remote transform, because what I want to do is to well, what actually matters is I think that the paths. So if I change this, yeah, not quite. Not quite. So I think that is the lines instead. Left arm. Yeah, so that's it. But still, let me see. Marker. Yeah, things are getting way more complex than I wish they were. So, like this. And then I can use the remote transform to offset it like this. Yeah, I think that I will have to work with that. Yeah, it's okay. So, right, left arm pivot. Marker. And I'm going to basically just duplicate that for the right arm. And instead of changing the left. Oh, okay, so this one's it's the wrong one. Okay, so there we have it. Now we just have to do the same thing for the legs. Right leg. Leg marker. Right leg. So this is the marker and this is the remote transform. Yeah, that's it. So I will have to deal with, with this setup. Yeah, there we have it finally. So let's start working with the animations. So oh, actually, okay. So I think that we can make this quicker. So that the whole thing happens within 30 milliseconds. And we can definitely work with some easings. Loop. Stop. What's happening here? Yeah, so it's going to need more time. So 0.6. Because after this, we're going to have to make the other way around. Like this. Yeah, there we have it. So now we just have to work with the arms now. Oh no. Arm path, no, the arm marker. So this one. So we just start like this. And the left arm like this. It's going to end up what? Okay. Okay. But these ones, just so we have. Okay, so now we can play a little bit with the head and the body. Okay, and then we just have to make the helmet bump a little bit. Oops. Here it's going to move a little bit top, and then it falls a little bit. Yeah, like this. So now instead of changing to the walk in the animation tree, I'm going to rename that animation sprint. I'm going to rename that to sprint. So let's see how this goes. Yeah, we just need more speed. So let's change that to 800. Yeah. So now let's make a jump animation. And the jump animation is going to be basically just one pose long. So jump. Awesome. So let's make the animation back to sprint and to reset advance if um is on floor, is on floor, and get node moving character 2D dot direction equal to 0. But this one is not equal to 0, so and not equal to 0. So let's see if we can make this, and then we're basically just going to have, or to need, the fall animation. Oh shoot, what's this, the bug? There was a player unterminated string. What does that mean? There was a unterminated string. Unterminated string. Did I miss? Okay. Unterminated string. Okay. Cool. Very cool. So now let's make the fall animation. New fall. And this one I'm going to basically just make this. Just rotate this. Yeah, these arms are way too long. Not this much, just a little bit like this, and maybe rotate the body as well. So body, head, arms. Let's make this transition. Animation fall. So I'm going to copy this, paste this. And this is going to transit to the fall animation if the velocity dot y is greater than 0. So jump. Woo. And let's add a fade time. There we have it. Yeah, our character is working. So yeah, at least we have animations, right? Yo. Cool. So let's see what else. The next thing that I'm going to do is to ensure that what will I do now? Well, I'll have to. I think that the thing that I think that the most time-consuming feature of this prototype is going to be this um, platform spawning, because I don't know how I'm going to ensure that. Mm. So I think that instead of using a tile map for that, I'm going to create these platforms. I'm going to create these platforms, and I'm going to add some spawners and basically just randomize the which spawns. Like I'm going to sort out three spawns and randomize each one of them is going to be the is going to create. Yeah, it's going to create a new platform, but I have to go to the bathroom real quick, so I'm going to just add a label here. Let me import. Okay, so I had an idea. Let me. I think that I'll save this scene because I'll probably use it again. Uh, BRB screen. I think that I had a cool idea for this game. Well, it's not going to be confined to this frame anymore, so I'm going to take rid of the position clamper as well. So what I'm going to do is to create a complete level that I'm going to use to add the um, the platforms. So I think that I can take rid of this as well. That are used to add the platforms, and the players will have to figure out their way to the portal. The portal that is going to um, take them out from this maze. Yeah, I think that it doesn't quite make sense, but you guys will get it. So, I let's create a very brief. No, uh, the thing that I had in mind was way simpler. So we had the floor. Let's take back this. So we had the floor. Is everything working? Let me see. Okay. So we have the floor, and from time to time, that along this level, which I don't know how long it will be, we are going to have some platforms, and somewhere we are going to use the portal to the recipe to teleport the player to the next screen, which is going to be congratulations, you finished the game. That's it. Let me pick the. Starfield, where is it? Starfield. Okay, so let's try to fix this. Starfield, add dependencies, fix broken. Okay, so since this is basically going to follow the player, I think that it's better to like add the camera to the player. No, let's add the camera here to the level. And the player is going to have something like a remote 2D. I'm going to change a little bit the sprint animation because the body should be a little bit more inclined. Like this. Yeah, I think that this will do the trick. Yeah, and um, I'm going to increase the jump strength to make it easier to jump on the platform that are going to appear. Yeah, maybe not this much. Or maybe I can increase the gravity. So let's double the gravity. I think that the gravity is whoa. I think that the gravity is okay, but the jumps not. Well, in very very soon I'll have to leave because I have to pick my son from the baby care. But we already have something. We already have something to work with. Yeah. So I think that I'm not going to use these many tile sets. Going to take rid of those because I can fill this with Polygon 2D when I've actually finished up the level design. So I think that I'm going to make something not very long. What about here maybe? And now we can play a little bit with um, moving platforms, and especially with path follow platforms. Yeah. So let me see if I can find them in a project. Boss fight tutorial, no. Oh, okay. I remember where they should be. Speak dev, books, platform essentials, playable demo, and we should have open switch, pass through, path follow platform. There we have it. So we probably have to bring up the moving platform as well. Okay, so it's already working. And well, I think that I'm going to just change the polygon 2D color. I'm going to rename it to polygon 2D. 2D, remove transform 2D. And this is going to be that. I'm going to add a small um, going to add a small line to the on top of this. So line 2D. Just so we have something to step on. Yeah, I'm not sure that this this is going to work, but if none, yeah, just so we have something like this, and can bring back to. No, not the moving platform, but path follow platform. Oh, it's too small. Oh, let's fix that. It's just too small. Oh, okay. Configure snap. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Yeah, way better. Now we can add a path. And what will we do with this path? Hmm. Maybe just up and down. Yeah, and add an animation player. Okay, let's test this out. Hmm, why isn't it colliding? Okay. Okay, cool. Um, but now I have to make the the boss monster feet. So I think that I'm going to use a similar approach that I did with lasers. Sorry. Where you have the a ray cast that casts its ray, and I'm going to position so the line is going to scale with the ray, and I'm going to position the boss feet at the tip of the ray cast. poof, yeah. So, and this is going to be the leg line 2D. And then I'm going to create another one. It's going to be the actual foot, and line 2D. Do I have the arc drawing? Yes. So at arc drawing, arc. Well, um, can we? No, I think that I'm not going to use the arc drawing. I'm going to use the same thing that I use for the path, because I'm going to draw a path and use the line to the with it to create something like a claw. So path drawer, path draw, path line 2D, and it asks for a path. So path. Something like this, and um, which is this, and let's increase the width a lot like this, and we're going to use a width curve. Create the claw. Yeah, like this. But it actually has to disappear like this. And at the beginning, we can use a round. There we have it, the claw. Love it. Cool, very cool. So yeah, I think that we can decrease the path bake interval. We can increase the bake interval to achieve something more performance oriented. So I think that this is cool. Let's see if no, yeah. So 20. Yeah, as you can see, it's still very small. I'm going to increase the path size. No, I don't. I don't want to move the path. I want to increase. Yeah, like this. Make the claw like this, and let's increase it with it. So cool. Actually, let's move them a little bit to. Yeah, maybe they are too long. Well, I think that we can play with them without having to mess around. I can change the path without having to mess around with these. Yeah, I think that I will go with that. Actually, I'm going to decrease this foot size. And just so we have something to work with, I'm going to add a collision shape. No, actually, I just need an area, right? So we don't need actual collisions. And yeah, I'm going to use a hit area 2D collision shape. It's going to be a capsule. Okay, so there we have our feet, our foot, and yeah, we have 15 minutes still. Charge my phone. get point position, set point position. Mm, should stop, but it's sliding for some reason. So recast.get collision. Okay. Let me add set point position plus equal target position. How do I offset this collision to make it? No, I think that it's working. I think that only the global position that, yeah, because the foot is like that. So this is where it's stopping. So I will need to bring this up a little bit to match the floor or something like this. And here on the leg, I'm try the capping. Oh shoot. So minus with it. Perfect. Okay, so I think that I'm going to increase this with it. The boss, make it more like this, a little bit bolder, like this. but but how can I make this accelerate instead? So step speed. So it's going to be um. I think that I can add an easing. So step speed plus equal step speed times delta. And when we step on something, it's going to reset to 0. Okay. And then we can make something like going backwards, right? So it hits the floor and then it start moving back. So I'm going. I will need to encapsulate this, or I can add 2 states. What is the opposite lifting? Lifting. Okay, so something I'll have to take care with is how long will the this lifting for how long will this lifting happens, right? So I think that I'm going to add a visibility notifier on the foot, so that when it get 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 out gets out of the screen, it's going to notify, changing the state back to um, stepping. But I'm not going to do that right now because I have to take my son from the baby care. I think that I'm going to commit all these changes. And well, guys, since I'm not going to work on Saturday because I am a Christian and I save the Saturday for the Sabbath. I'm going to be back on Sunday, but the co-working here, the office, doesn't open on Sundays, so I'm going to finish up this prototype on my house, hopefully. So I'm going to work on Sunday all day morning, and probably no morning I'm going to church, and probably on the afternoon up to the evening and probably night as well. But that's it. Thank you so much for following this process. I hope that the Platform Essentials Cookbook helps you, especially these two recipes that we are using. So as you can see, I already used the recipe about the hazard. So this this food is a hazard. So it uses the combat system of my Platform Essentials templates. So that's it. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Thank you so much for going through this process with me. And don't forget to join the Game Jam so you can submit your project as well and, well, compete for up to 20% of the prize pool. So I'm going to leave right now. See you later. Bye bye.